Ooh, happy Sabbath day. Happy Sabbath. Shalom, everybody. What up? What up, baby? We out here. I'm out here. Shalom. What up? It's the Sabbath. It is the Sabbath. And it's time to do a little Sabbath reading for the day. The least I can do. The least. The least I could do on the Sabbath is read. Pick up your Bible, open it good, and try to read some things that should be already understood. Some people it's hard to understand. So let's just pick up, man. We are in 2 Samuel. We are going to start 2 Samuel today. 2 Samuel, King Saul just died. Jonathan died. Jonathan died. Saul died. Everybody died. All Saul's sons, 3 of Saul's sons died. Just the same way it was prophesied by Samuel that his children was going to die for their disobedience and other things. So let's jump into 2 Samuel 1 to start it off. But let's blow up the trumpets before we go. Oh, Lord, don't break my stuff. 2 Samuel, so that the Most High will remember us as we get ready to read about our forefathers and the great battles and deceptions and the great things that they were given, the great things that they got, the great things that they went through to try to understand the different things that was going on up here in their mind. Oh, you gotta wait, my boy. You got to wait. Read. You know, I imagine whenever they was out there and the enemies was coming and whatever they had to do, not even just for the enemies coming, but for the memorial blowing the trumpets, for the new moons, for the all the different high holy days, for the movement of the people from one side of the tabernacle to the other side of the tabernacle. You know, these horns or some type of horn was being blown, and man, God, I can only imagine the sound of that. Shalom, Cassidy. Just like the sound of the horns when they were going around Jericho. Oh man, I can only imagine. The resonance, the resonance of it. But anyway, let's get started. Horn has been blown. Let's read. We're going to jump into 2 Samuel. We're starting off at 2 Samuel 1. 2 Samuel 1. The news of Saul's death. Oh, Lord. Saul died, David. Say it ain't so. Now it came to pass after Saul, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Amalekites, and David had abode 2 days in Ziklag. It came even to pass on the 3rd day that, behold, a man came out of the camp from Saul with his clothes rent and earth upon his head. And so it was, when he came to David, that he fell to the earth and did obeisance. Who knows what that word is? Let's see. Obeisance. You got some obeisance in you? Obeisance. Obeisance. O-B-E-I-S-A-N. O-B-E-I-S-A-N-C-E. Obeisance. Who knows what that is? Do you know what that is? I don't. It's not obedience. I normally don't have to look up a curtsy. Expressing great respect. Obeisance. When you meet me with obeisance. Obeisance. And David said unto him, from whence comest thou? And he said unto him, out of the camp of Israel I am escaped. And David said unto him, how went the matter? I pray thee, tell me. And he answered that the people are fled from the battle, and many of the people also are fallen and dead. And Saul and Jonathan his son are dead also. Oh, not Jonathan. Not Jonathan. And David said unto the young man, and told him, how knowest thou that Saul and Jonathan his son be dead? And the young man that told him said, as I happened by chance upon Mount Gilboa, behold, Saul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the chariots and horsemen followed hard after him. And when he looked behind him, he saw me, and called unto me, and I answered him, here am I. And he said unto me, who art thou? And I answered him, I am an Amalekite. He said unto me again, stand, I pray thee, upon me, and slay me, for anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me. So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen. And I took the crown that was upon his head, and the bracelet that was on his arms, and have brought them hither unto my Lord. I'm going to stop there. I thought Saul killed his damn self. Who is this lying ass Amalekite? I'm going back to 1 Samuel chapter 31, just to see. Then said Saul unto his armor bearer, draw thy sword and thrust through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through, and abuse me. But his armor bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon it. So Saul did kill himself. Somebody lying. Somebody lying. Saul killed himself. Suicide. Saul's self-deletion. That boy, that Amalekite, lying. That's why God wanted him killed. Lying. Kill them all. That's what the Most High said. He said unto me again, stand, I pray thee, upon me and slay me, for anguish is come upon me, and behold, my life is yet whole in me. So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen. And I took the crown that was upon his head and the bracelet that was upon his arm, and I have brought them hither unto my Lord. Then David took hold on his clothes and rent them, and likewise all the men that were with him. And they mourned and wept and fasted until even, for Saul and for Jonathan his son, and for the people of the Lord, and for the house of Israel, because they were fallen by the sword. And David said unto the young man that told him, whence art thou? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger, an Amalekite. And David said unto him, how wast thou not afraid to stretch forth thine hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? And David called one of the young men and said, go near and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died. David put that hit on that boy. What? You did what? You killed Saul? Hey, kill that boy. Fall upon him. And David said unto him, Thy blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth hath testified against thee, saying, I have slain the Lord's anointed. And David lamented with his lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son. Also, he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Behold, it is written in the book of Jasher, the beauty of Israel is slain upon thy high places. How are the mighty fallen? Tell it not in Gath, publish it not in the streets of Ashkelon, lest the daughters of the Philistines rejoice, lest the daughters of the uncircumcised triumph. Ye mountains of Gilboa, let there be no dew, neither let there be rain upon you, nor fields of offerings, for there the shield of the mighty is vilely cast away, and the shield of Saul, though he had not been anointed with oil. From the blood of the slain, from the fat of the mighty, the bow of Jonathan turned not back, and the sword of Saul returned not empty. Saul and Jonathan were lovely and pleasant in their lives, and in their death they were not divided. They were swifter than eagles. They were stronger than lions. Ye daughters of Israel, weep over Saul, who clothed you in scarlet with other delights, who put on ornaments of gold upon your apparel. How are the mighty fallen in the midst of the battle? O Jonathan, thou wast slain in thy high places. I am distressed for thee, my brother Jonathan. Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of the woman. How are the mighty fallen, and the weapons of war perished? Chapter 2. David anointed king of Judah. And it came to pass after this that David inquired of the Lord, saying, shall I go up into any of the cities of Judah? And the Lord said unto him, go up. And David said, whither shall I go up? And he said, unto Hebron. So David went up thither, and his two wives also, Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and Abigail, Nabal's wife, the Carmelite. And his men that were with him did David bring up, every man with his household, and they dwelt in the cities of Hebron. And the men of Judah came, and there they anointed David king over the house of Judah. And they told David, saying that the men of Jabesh Gilead were there that buried Saul. And David sent messengers unto the men of Jabesh Gilead, and said unto them, blessed be ye of the Lord, that ye have shown this kindness unto your Lord, even unto Saul, and have buried him. And now the Lord shall show kindness and truth unto you. And I also will requite you this kindness, because ye have done this thing. Therefore, now let your hands be strengthened, and be ye valiant, and your master Saul is dead. And also the house of Judah have anointed me king over them. But Abner, the son of Ner, captain of Saul's host, took Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, and brought him over to Mahanaim, and made him king over Gilead, and over the Ashurites, and over Jezreel, and over Ephraim, and over Benjamin, and over all Israel. Ishbosheth, Saul's son, was 40 years old when he began to reign over Israel, and reigned 2 years. But the house of Judah followed David. And the time that David was king in Hebron over the house of Judah was 7 years and 6 months. And Abner, the son of Ner, the servants of the Ishbosheth, and Abner, the son of Ner, the servants of Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, went out from the Mahanaim and to Gibeon. And Joab, the son of Zeruiah, And the servants of David went out and met together by the pool of Gibeon. And they sat down, the one on the one side of the pool and the other on the other side of the pool. And Abner said to Joab, "Let the young men now arise and play before us." And Joab said, "Let them arise." Then they arose and went over by number 12 of a Benjamin, which pertained to Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, and 12 of the servants of David. And they caught every one his fellow by the head, and thrust his sword in his fellow's side. So they fell down together. Wherefore that place was called Helkath Hazurim, which is in Gibeon. Helkath Hazurim. And there was a very sore battle that day, and Abner was beaten, and the men of Israel before the servants of David. And there were 3 sons of Zeruiah there, Joab, Abishai, and Asahel. And Asahel was light a foot as a wild roe. And Asahel pursued after Abner. And in the going, he turned not to the right hand nor to the left from following Abner. Then Abner looked before him and said, "Art thou Asahel?" And he answered, "I am." And Abner said to him, "Turn thee aside to thy right hand or to thy left, and lay thee hold on one of the young men, and take thee his armor." But Asahel would not turn aside from following of him. And Abner said again to Asahel, "Turn thee aside from following me. Wherefore should I smite thee to the ground? How then should I hold up my face to Joab thy brother?" Howbeit he refused to turn aside, wherefore Abner with the hinder end of the spear smote him under the 5th rib, and the spear came out behind him, and he fell down there and died in the same place. And it came to pass that as many as came to the place where Asahel fell and died stood still. Joab also and Abishai pursued after Abner. And the sun went down when they were come to the hill of Ammah, and that lieth before Giah, by the way after of the wilderness of Gibeon. I'm tripping on some of these words. And the children of Benjamin gathered themselves together after Abner, and became one troop, and stood on the top of an hill. Then Abner called to Joab and said, "Shall the sword devour forever? Knowest thou not that it will be bitterness in the latter end? How long shall it be then, ere thou bid the people return from following their brethren?" And Joab said, "As God liveth, unless thou hadst spoken, surely then in the morning the people had gone up, every one from following his brother." So Joab blew the trumpet, and all the people stood still and pursued after Israel no more, neither fought they anymore. Yes, sir. And Abner and his men walked all that night through the plain, and passed over Jordan, and went through all Bethron, and they went and came to Mahanaim. And Joab returned from following Abner. And when he had gathered all the people together, there lacked of David's servants 19 men and Asahel. But the servants of David had smitten of Benjamin and of Abner's men, so that 360 men died. And they took up Asahel and buried him in the sepulchre, in the sepulchre of his father, which is in Bethlehem. And Joab and his men went all night, and they came to Hebron at the break of day. Chapter 3. There was long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, but David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. And unto David were sons born in Hebron, and his firstborn was Amnon of Ahoniam the Jezreelite, and his second was Caleb of Abigail, the wife of Nabal the Carmelite, and the third Absalom, the son of Maacah, the daughter of Talmai, king of Jeshur. Talmai. Now the names is where it be getting sometimes. Ooh, I should have read it first. I should have read it over again first. And the fourth, Adonijah, the son of Haggith. And the fifth, Shaphatah, the son of Abital. So let me see. Five sons, 5 wives. 5 sons by 5 wives. My bad, I'm not done. And the sixth, Ithrim by Eglah, David's wife. So 6 sons, 6 wives. There was born to David in Hebron. And it came to pass, while there was war between the house of Saul and the house of David, that Abner made himself strong for the house of Saul. And Saul had a concubine, whose name was Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah. And Ishbosheth said to Abner, Wherefore hast thou gone in unto my father's concubine? Then was Abner very wroth for the words of Ishbosheth, and said, Am I a dog's head, which against Judah do show kindness this day unto the house of Saul thy father, to his brethren, and to his friends, and have not delivered thee into the hand of David, that thou chargest me today with a fault concerning this woman? Don't you put that on me. Don't you put that on me, Ishbosheth. So, to God, to Abner, and more also, except as the Lord had sworn to David, even so I do to him. To translate the kingdom from the house of Saul, and to set up the throne of David over Israel and over Judah, from Dan even unto Beersheba. And he could not answer Abner a word again, because he feared him. And Abner sent messengers to David on his behalf, saying, Who is the land? Saying also, Make thy league with me, and behold, my hand shall be with thee, to bring about all Israel unto thee. And he said, Well, I will make a league with thee, but one thing I require of thee, that is, thou shalt not see my face, except thou first bring Michal, Saul's daughter, when thou comest to see my face. And David sent messengers to Ishbosheth, Saul's son, saying, Deliver me my wife Michal, which I espoused to me for 100 foreskins of the Philistines. And Ishbosheth sent and took her from her husband, even from Phaltiel, the son of Laish. And her husband went with her along weeping behind her to Baharum. Then said Abner unto him, Go, return. And he returned. And Abner had communication with the elders of Israel, saying, Ye sought for David in times past to be king over you. Now, then do it. For the Lord had spoken of David, saying, By the hand of the servant David I will save my people Israel out of the hand of the Philistines, and out of the hand of all their enemies. And Abner also spake in the ears of Benjamin. And Abner went also to speak in the ears of David in Hebron, all that seemed good to Israel, and that seemed good to the whole house of Benjamin. So Abner came to David to Hebron, and 20 men with him. And David made Abner and the men that were with him were with him a feast. And Abner said unto David, I will arise and go, and will gather all Israel unto the Lord the king, unto my Lord the king, that they may make a league with thee, and that thou mayest reign over all that thine heart desireth. And David sent Abner away, and he went in peace. And behold, the servants of David and Joab came from pursuing a troop, and brought in a great spoil with them. But Abner was not with David in Hebron, for he had sent him away, and he was gone in peace. And behold, the servants of David, when Joab and all the host that was with him were come, they told Joab, saying, Abner the son of Ner came to the king, and he had sent him away, and he is gone in peace. Then Joab came to the king and said, What hast thou done? Behold, Abner came unto thee. Why is it that thou hast sent him away, and he is quite gone? Thou knowest Abner the son of Ner, that he came to deceive thee, and to know thy going out and thy coming in, and to know all that thou doest. And when Joab was come out from David, he sent messengers after Abner, which brought him again with the well of Sirah. But David knew it not. And when Abner was returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate and to speak with him quietly, and smote him there under the fifth rib, that he died, for the blood of Asahel his brother. And afterward, when David heard it, he said, I and my kingdom are guiltless before the Lord forever from the blood of Abner the son of Ner. Let it rest on the head of Joab and on all his father's house, and let there not fail from the house of Joab one that hath an issue, or that is leper, or that leaneth on a staff, or that falleth on a sword, or that lacketh bread. So Joab and Abishai his brother slew Abner, because he had slain their brother Asahel at Gibeon and in the battle. And David said to Joab and to all the people that were with him, Rend your clothes and gird you with sackcloth and mourn before Abner. And King David himself followed the bier. And they buried Abner in Hebron. And the king lifted up his voice and wept at the grave of Abner, and all the people wept. And the king lamented over Abner and said, Died Abner as a fool death, as a fool dieth. Died Abner as a fool dieth. Poor Abner. Thy hands were not bound, nor thy feet put into fetters. As a man falleth before wicked men, so fellest thou. And all the people wept again over him. And when all the people came to cause David to eat meat while it was yet day, David sware, saying, So do God to me, and more also, if I taste bread or aught else till the sun be down. And all the people took notice of it, and it pleased them, as whatsoever the king did pleased all the people. For all the people and all Israel understood that day that it was not of the king to slay Abner the son of Ner. And the king said unto his servants, Know ye not that there is a prince and a great man fallen this day in Israel? And I am this day weak, though anointed king, and these men, the sons of Zeruiah, be too hard for me. The Lord shall reward the doer of evil according to his wickedness. Chapter 4. And when Saul's son heard that Abner was dead in Hebron, his hands were feeble, and all the Israelites were troubled. And Saul's son had two men that were captains of bands. The name of one was Baanah, and the name of the other Rechab, the sons of Ramon, a Beerothite, of the children of Benjamin. For Beeroth also was reckoned to Benjamin. And the Beerothites fled to Gittaim and were sojourners there until this day. And Jonathan, Saul's son, had a son that was lame on his feet. Special needs kid. Jonathan had a special needs boy. He was lame on his feet. He was 5 years old when the tidings came of Saul and Jonathan out of Jezreel. And his nurse took him up and fled, and it came to pass, as she made haste to flee, that he fell and became lame. And his name was Mephibosheth. And the sons of Ramon, the Beerothite, Rechab, and Baanah, went and came about the heat of the day to the house of Ishbosheth, who lay in the bed at noon. And they came thither into the midst of the house, as though they would have fetched wheat. And they smote him under the fifth rib, and Rechab and Baanah, his brother, his brother escaped. For when they came into the house, he laid in his bedchamber, and they smote him, and slew him, and beheaded him, and took his head, and gat them away through the plain of night. And they brought the head of Ishbosheth unto David to Hebron, and said to the king, Behold the head of Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, thine enemy, which sought thy life. And the Lord hath avenged my lord the king this day of Saul and his seed. And David answered Rechab and Baanah, and answered Baanah his brother, the sons of Ramon, as the Lord liveth, Ramon the Beerothite, and said unto them, As the Lord liveth, who hath redeemed my soul out of all adversity? When one told me, saying, Behold, Saul is dead, thinking to have brought good tidings, I took hold of him and slew him in Ziklag, who thought that I would have given him a reward for his tidings. How much more, when wicked men have slain a righteous person in his own house upon his bed? Shall I not therefore now require his blood of your hand, and take you away from the earth? I'm going to get you. And David commanded his young men, and they slew him, and cut off their heads and their hands and their feet, and hanged them up over the pool in Hebron. But they took the head of Ishbosheth and buried it in the sepulchre of Abner in Hebron. I think that's cool right there. The sepulchre, how all your people gonna be buried together. You be buried with your daddy and your mama, your brothers. They all gonna be buried in the same spot. What up, baby? I'm out here. We in here. The sepulchre at Hebron. Chapter 5. Then came all the tribes of Israel to David unto Hebron, and spake, saying, Behold, we are thy bone and thy flesh. Also in times past, when Saul was king over us, thou wast he that leadest out and broughtest in Israel? And the Lord said to thee, Thou shalt feed my people Israel, and thou shalt be a captain over Israel. So all the elders of Israel came to the king to Hebron, and King David made a league with them in Hebron before the Lord, and they anointed David king over Israel. David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years. I wanted to do that. Does that 40-year reign count with the 7 that he reigned in Hebron, just over Judah. I wonder, because it would add to the timeline of when David, how old he was. Because if he was 30 when he started reigning over Israel, and then he reigned, David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned for 40 years. So he's 30, so he reigned till he's 70. 70. Man, that's badass, man. That's like, David reigned till the time he was a papa. Good papa age. 77, that's good papa age. That's good papa age right there. 70. If that was the age David, reigned to. Which I'll have to check later. Whenever I'll try to remember, so I can see if later on it comes up when David died. When David died, and he reigned over. He died at 70, if it says something like that. Chapter 5, verse 5. In Hebron he reigned over Judah 7 years and 6 months. And in Jerusalem he reigned 30 years and 3 years over Israel, over all Israel and Judah. Well, I guess that answers the question. Thirty and 3 years plus 7 is 40. So it's all together. And the king and his men went to Jerusalem unto the Jebusites and the inhabitants of the land, which spake unto David, saying, Except thou take away the blind and the lame, thou shalt not come in hither. Thinking David cannot come in hither. Nevertheless, David took the stronghold of Zion, the same is the city of David. And David said on that day, Whosoever getteth up to the gutter and smiteth the Jebusites, and the lame and the blind that are hated of David's soul, he shall be chief and captain. Wherefore they said, The blind and the lame shall not come into the house. So David, sound like they did that bar like on 300. When that nigga wanted to come for when that bar wanted to show him about the goats pass. Lift thy shield. David hated them. And David said on that day, Whosoever getteth up to the gutter and smiteth the Jebusites, and the lame and the blind that are hated of David's soul, he shall be chief and captain. Wherefore they said, The blind and the lame shall not come into the house. So David dwelt in the fort, and called it the city of David. And David built round about from Milo and inward. And David went on and grew great, and the Lord God of hosts was with him. And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent messengers to David, and cedar trees, and carpenters, and masons, and they built David an house. And David perceived that the Lord had established him king over Israel, and that he had exalted his kingdom for his people Israel's sake. And David took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem after he was come from Hebron. And there were yet sons and daughters born to David. And these be the names of those that were born unto him in Jerusalem: Shammua, and Shabad, and Nathan, and Solomon, Ibhar also, and Elishua, and Nepheg, and Japhi, and Elishama, and Elida, and Eliphalet, Eliphalet. There we go. Eliphalet. That sounds better. But the Philistines heard that they had anointed David king over Israel. All the Philistines came up to see David, and David heard of it and went down to the hold. The Philistines also came and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. And David inquired of the Lord, and David inquired of the Lord, saying, shall I go up to the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into mine hand? And the Lord said unto David, go up, for I will doubtless deliver the Philistines into thine hand. And David came to Baal-peorim, and David smote them there, and said, the Lord had broken forth upon mine enemies before me, as the breach of waters. Therefore he called the name of the place Baal-peorim, and there they left their images, and David and his men burned them. And the Philistines came up yet again and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. And when David inquired of the Lord, he said, thou shalt not go up, but fetch a compass behind them, and come upon them over against the mulberry trees. And let it be, when thou heardest the sound of a going in the tops of the mulberry trees, that then thou shalt bestir thyself. For then shall the Lord go out before thee to smite the host of the Philistines. And David did so, as the Lord had commanded him, and smote the Philistines from Geba until thou come to Gezer. And that was chapter 5. That was chapters 1 through 5 of 2 Samuel, man. David, it's some backstabbing going on. Abner, Ishbosheth then got killed. Abner then got killed. Asahel then got killed. Somebody else died. The people that killed them got killed. There's a lot of eye for eye, baby. There's a lot of eye for eye right now. And David got him some women. He had 6 just in Hebron. And then when he left from Hebron and started building up the city of David, took him some more wives and concubines. So I guess the concubines was like side pieces. It's my baby mama. I wonder if concubine is synonymous with baby mama. I wonder. Just thinking out loud. I wonder though. What would be if concubines is all right, if concubines is a thing, what would be the equivalent to a concubine in today's society? And does the man, I need to find the verse. I need to find those verses that explains the making of a concubine. How can a concubine be made? What are the prerequisites for a concubine? What makes them different from a wife? What is the difference? What is it? Because you sleep with both of them. And if sex is marriage, as some people claim it to be, or, see it, sex is a big part of marriage. What makes the difference? Because you're still sleeping with the concubines. Every last one of them. They're still having children with the concubines. So I wonder what's the difference. That's something I'm going to have to think on and look up. It's a question. These are the type of things that oh, man. There by me, the good times in Bertha, you will always be. Oh. Damn. I need me a card so I can write this down. What is the difference? Sunny days. I'm about to make a question book again. Bible trivia. How many of y'all ever played what's the word? Bible taboo. Bible taboo. Let's mark this down. Bible questions. Bible questions. I'm gonna start a new book. Let's start one. Bible questions. That's what we're gonna write on now. Bible questions. Number one. Wait, no, we're gonna start off with this. Number one, what is the differentiator between a concubine and a wife? What is and makes the difference between a concubine, and a wife? Number two. Number two. What is who makes a difference? Who makes a difference? Does the man who is taking on said concubine or wife makes the difference? Does he differentiate? Nope, you my concubine, get over there. You my wife, get over there. Does he make the difference? What is and makes the difference between a concubine and a wife? Are there prerequisites? I don't know how to spell that shit. Prerequisites. Prerequisites. That shit wrong as shit. Prerequisites to being a concubine, like there are to be a wife. Three. Can a concubine be made into a wife? Can a concubine be what's the word I'm looking for? Elevated. Can she be elevated out of her concubine status to becoming a main wife? Let's see, can a concubine be elevated to wife? Can a concubine be elevated to full wife status? And number 4, what is the equivalent to a concubine? I hate when I get to writing fast. In today's time. Oh man, these are 4 questions I need to know. Not just need to know, but would like to know. Let me also write the other question. 5. How many wives did David have? We'll think on it. We'll think on it. I'm going to keep this handy. Bible questions. Bible questions. Green for that emerald. Well, that was it. That has been the Sabbath reading. Oh, Lord. That has been the Sabbath reading for today. It also left us with some questions. We got 4 questions. 4 questions to kind of mine over. 4 questions to think on, ponder. And we shall see. We shall see what they talking about. Oh, King Alpha. Yeah. Well, that's the Sabbath reading for today, man. Keep pushing through the Sabbath. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. It's one of the 10 commandments. Shit, do that. It's only 10. I'm almost done, my boss. Oh, I'm almost done. Oh, Lord. You all right? Oh, my bad. I tried to get you like a goldfish. Yeah. Well, as a Sabbath reading for today, I hope that everybody enjoyed it. We'll come back next time and pick up on chapter 6 of 2 Samuel. Chapter 6 of 2 Samuel. That's what we're going to read next time. Next time we pick up the Bible. I'm reading the King James Version.
King James.
Let me see.
Well, I saw you looking at this guy right here.
Yeah, I'm reading the King James Version.
That's from
and we'll keep pushing. You know, here a little, there a little.
Oh,
one book at a time, one chapter at a time, one session at a time, one section at a time. Until we learn and grow. Until we find something to learn and grow from. And apply it. Apply it. Don't just be a hearer of the word only. Be a doer as well. But until next time, shalom. Shalom out. Man, I'm out here. Happy Sabbath, everybody.
Happy Sabbath.
The Sabbath!